Shang-Chi finally came out, guys. I just watched it yesterday in 3D and well, I really liked it. You have to count that, like a lot of people, I went there with really high expectations because of the internet buzz and reactions that have been going on for the past 2 weeks. I have to say, those expectations were reached successfully. It was a great movie. Fresh, new, something never seen before from Marvel. Don't get me wrong, it's still a Marvel movie, and you can tell that while watching. But, unlike past movies, this one had a wonderful balance between action and emotional scenes, which worked really well together. I'm not going to bother and explain to you the plot, so this will be a spoiler-free review. Going from this statement, I really encourage you to go and watch this movie in the theater if you have the option. It's totally worth your money and time. Which leads me to say that this movie, being 2 hours long, it felt a lot shorter, just because it's so easy and fun to watch. The pace is really attention-grabbing. I heard from some people that they didn't really like the slow pace when it came to the character development, and I honestly don't get why. I mean, in this movie there's so much cool action that you can't complain. Aside from that, character development is really important, guys, especially when you have this much action. Not only it balances out the movie, but it gives you different emotion from adrenaline, because if you look carefully, the core plot of this movie is about family and love. You can't grasp that deep emotion from action only. Marvel is generally good in character development, but in this, they outwork themselves. Another thing to keep in mind, this is a character that we've never seen before, so you need to place an origin story at the same time that you have to keep the audience glued to the screen. That can be challenging, but if you have talent in your studio, everything is possible. Some critics consider this as the best origin story in the MCU so far. I am going to be honest with you, I don't feel comfortable yet to give this movie a rating or top tier placement. Not because I didn't love it, but because I still need to process what I just saw. So I don't want to rush it, I want it to come naturally. Anyway, let's start off with the best aspect of the movie in my opinion. Action. A lot of action, a lot of good action I would say actually. This movie, as you might expect, has the footprint of Marvel crazy action, but it also holds on to the Asian culture really tight, which is represented from Kung Fu. Those Kung Fu fight sequences are probably one of the best ones that I've seen maybe since the Jackie Chan movies. Moving to the protagonist played by Simu Liu, he is really good, man. This guy is so cool, but more importantly, he portrays the mystery that the character of Shang-Chi carries. The antagonist, being Shang-Chi's father, is played by Tony Leung, known for a lot of action movies including IP Man. He kills it, dude. I'm not going to dive in too deep, but his character has a kind of twisted way of showing love and affection. Just like the director of this movie said in an interview, it can be challenging to portray this kind of emotion on camera, just because it's such a real and raw emotion. But they achieved it. I can confirm it. The story is really well written. You can feel the characters' actions and their motivations related to those actions. At some point in the movie, you even feel sympathy for the antagonist, which makes you kind of nervous to watch the end. I also really like the alternation from flashbacks to present. It makes you more invested in the story and the characters, and you understand more about their backgrounds. Moving now to the fantasy aspect, cause there's a lot of that element in this movie, guys. They killed it. I was worried actually how they would manage all that CGI work, but they managed to make it pop without looking fake and overdone. The colors and frames were dazzling and full of life in my opinion, especially in the third act. If you watch it in 3D like I did, which I recommend you to do, you will have a lot more fun with it. What is there else to say if not the soundtracks? Both in action and emotional scenes, they immerse you even more. It's like you are there and experience it live. This is what a good soundtrack selection should do. I would also add that you will see some interesting surprises throughout the movie. Of course, I will not talk about the mid-credit scene. Just know that it's a really cool and interesting setup for the future of the MCU. They still left some question marks here and there, but it was enough to give some hype, at least for me. Overall, a big thumb up for this movie, guys. But this is just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments. Speaking of thumbs up, if you like this video, guys, please leave one down below, and if you want to be part of this community, subscribe for more weekly content. See ya!